I thought you said landscape.
Ah, sorry. I'm an old man. Maybe I did. I forget stuff. It happens when you're old like me. It's
Yes, you are old.
I've invested all my time and money into getting this fucking old, so I'm super proud of it, to be honest with you.
Here.
How you two today? You good?
We're good. You see my my censored painting?
Beautiful. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm trying to work out what it's censored with. Let me see. Oh, really? Hello, everyone. From me, 420 Chilli Sash. Yes, and my insane friends up here. You can see Kat and El Jefe of the Capsaicin Cartel, straight out of Montreal. There's the Dirty Sanchez. Tell me over there, how did this particular product come to exist? What was the thought process behind it?
You want to explain it?
No.
No. When COVID hit, the restaurant industry got destroyed, and we needed to do something, and we had a lot of hot peppers. And then one day I was in my think tank. That's my shower. I do my best thinking in the shower, and it just hit me like, it's a Canadian product. Maple syrup is as Canadian as can be. Let's load it up with hot peppers. And we were off. That's what it all started.
Genius.
And
I think
because
you might be the first company I've ever seen who does that. Oh, is that right?
We've seen a few others that do it, but not like with a mix of hot peppers. I've seen a few that just a few reapers in it or something like that. But we like the candied pieces, the dirty Sanchez that will stick in your throat and will keep burning and burning. Because what? We like it hot.
Yeah, man. And what about you, Kat? Are you also a lover of the hot peppers as well, or is that more El Jefe?
Well, it's more El Jefe. Like, I'm an amateur. I thought hot sauce was, Frank's Red Hot sauce, or, the Louisiana style hot sauce was basically what I had been introduced to, aside from when we go to a Mexican restaurant and they give you, like a salsa verde or whatever they give in a commercial Mexican restaurant is kind of what my scope of knowledge was. But when we started to grow super hot peppers, we were researching all the time, and hey, this is cool, and look at that. And so it was a lot of discovery between the two of us, and it was the one thing that really brought us together in a sense, because we were learning something new together at the same time, and discovering this new world and entering into the pepper community. And we're on level ground. Neither one of us had more knowledge than the other, aside from his palate was a lot more used to hotter stuff. Like, he just spread sambal oleg like on his bread.
Oh, my peanut butter, baby.
Yeah, I love it. I said to El Jefe when we first spoke, I think I've come across a brother from another mother here. It seems that we have very similar way of masochistically enjoying ourselves. Yeah, which is kind of. So was that your first product? Was the Dirty Sanchez?
Well, we started selling hot peppers and then seeds. And we had something about, we need to do more. Hey, we got rent to pay. So we started off with the maple syrups. We have two. We have the Dirty Sanchez and hot hay, unapologetically Canadian.
Love it.
We do not apologize for being this hot.
I love it. And is that filtered and unfiltered? Is that the difference?
Exactly. The hot hay is the filtered version, but it's still really, really spicy. And after the filter process, we put in all the little gunks and goodness of the peppers, and that is in the Dirty Sanchez.
Ah, and so what's your personal favorite?
Dirty Sanchez, without a doubt.
Hottie.
Hottie? Yeah.
I don't like the little chunks, and I appreciate that some customers don't don't have a feel for that texture, you know, with the little pieces in it. They are used to having a smooth maple syrup, and that's what they're looking for. So this one is more like an infused heat, and the Dirty Sanchez has the actual peppers in it. So I think it's going to continue to get a little hotter and a little hotter as it ages till it reaches a certain point, and then of course it's not going to go any further. But whereas with the hot A, you're kind of guaranteed that it's always going to be the same level of heat. It's, you know, I like the spice, but I don't like the pieces.
Yeah, I see. But that's not your only product. I must say, I was very impressed by your antivirus. I said to El Jefe, for a very short period of time, when I first saw that online, I thought, you bastard, you thought about that before me. I kill you. That was my first thought process about that. There we go. The antivirus. Tell us about that one.
It's an Asian inspired hot sauce, and we came up with it. And there's so much discrimination going on against Asian people because of the virus, and a long story, a lot of bad blame games. And we had some like, no, we're going to use this. So we used the death mask.
Plague mask.
Plague mask. Sorry.
Plague mask, yeah.
The plague mask. And I said, like, why not call it antivirus 19? It's the COVID-19. And here's your antidote.
It's fucking genius, that is, you know. I sat down with a friend of mine who's running a hot sauce company in England, and we were talking about where you probably sell the most of things, because we were looking at what you're selling there. And we had this idea that probably internally, inside of the Canadian market, you're probably, because that is such a boss idea, that antivirus, probably that's the one that's going the most in Canada. And then I would imagine people like me who find, I mean, for me, Canada's exotic. I'm sitting here in freezing cold Bavaria. You have to remember this, yeah? And and so I would imagine that your international sales, probably the most things going out is the maple syrups. Is that right, or not really?
At the moment, the antivirus is our top seller. And we came with our sauce verde, the Lush, phenomenal sauce.
Tell us about that one. What's in that one?
Just in the last month, hold up, can you see it?
Yeah.
A little bit higher.
Up. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is going, it's flying out of it.
This is my sauce.
That's your sauce.
Well, I wanted a sauce that I could enjoy, because the antivirus is a sauce that I'm familiar, like the flavor's familiar, but the heat level is just beyond what I really enjoy. When you put it on something like a steak, then, you know, the heat isn't as like punchy right in the mouth. But when you just taste it like that, it's quite it's quite a lot of heat. So, but because I'm like a baby in terms of is my heat tolerance. So this one is for me. It's a jalapeno and tomatillo based sauce. So kind of in the, I guess, in the same realm as a traditional Mexican salsa verde. But we put maple syrup in it.
Everything with maple syrup, baby.
Just for that little touch of, like, you know, a little something extra. It's very unctuous, you know, like that's why we called it Lush. Reminds me of, you know, it's
now biting into summer.
So fresh.
It's like fresh as summer. And it goes fantastic on Weisswurst. And it goes fantastic on and guten Abend, meine Freunde in Deutschland.
For all the poor people out there who don't have the joy of knowing what Weisswurst is a German sausage that is white and it's got small green flecks in it, and you have to take the skin off of it to eat it. But if you're really talented, then what you can do is what the Germans call, I think it's Susoln or something like that they call it, which is where you can pop one end of this sausage and you can suck the whole sausage out of the skin. Like that.
Yeah,
I can't do that shit. You'd need to have Linda Lovelace deep throat skills to get that to work. I would imagine, and I don't have those. I've tried though. Yeah, we've got also a nice new. We're working on a nice new jalapeno basis sauce ourselves, and we decided to go in the Serbian direction. Because we've got this similar issue over here because Germany is not such a big consumer of super hot, you know? And so we got our super hot stuff going on because I'm insane and I like that. But then in order to kind of help the Germans around us have access to it, we've been trying to develop some softer stuff. And we've made a range called Buši Korac, which is Serbian for suck my cock. That's the name of the range. It's the Buši Korac hot sauce range. And
anything else from you, Sasha?
Yeah, of course not. Of course not. But what we've done with that is we've used Iver, which is coming from Serbia and Eastern Europe, but very popular in the Arabic world. And Iver is hot sauce on a basis of roasted peppers and what's the word? Aubergine. And aubergine is what you got there mainly. A traditional Iver is normally a red roasted pepper and red chilies, but not that spicy. So what we've done is we've adapted it downwards, and we made something with jalapenos as well from it, which is our jalapeno Iver, which is also a real soft, very flavorful, lovely thing. And we also made a mango version as well. I'm very, very happy with them. We made them in honor of one of our customers. That's why we went with the Serbian thing. We have one of our first, as Germans call them, Stammgast. So repeat customers is a Serbian guy. I'm happy to say is in the present tense there as well. So we actually developed the Buši Korac range for him, and he named it before you. I know you think that definitely came from my diseased mind, which is always in the gutter. But no, that came directly out the mind of our favorite Stammgast. We call him the judge. Because he is a regular judge in the Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam, which is always very nice. But so you've got the Verde there, and you've got the maple syrups, and of course, the infamous antivirus. But then what else is going on?
This is the infamous. It's our Hell's ketchup.
Tell us a bit about that.
That it makes big, strong men cry like little babies. Does that make sense?
What's in there?
It's my own version of a really good ketchup. It's nice and thick, and it's phenomenal on your fries. And this is stuffed to the gills with super hot peppers. Like this is the one to watch.
Love it. So you guys have got your own growing setup. Look at that, boys and girls. That's some good shit you can see right there. Fuck's sake. Everybody buy this. All of you people out there, you need to go and buy all of this stuff. And if you want to do that, you're going to look on the Capsaicin Cartel's links about here. And that is where you are going to find all of this loveliness produced by El Jefe and Kat. And I always have the feeling that Kat's probably the driving force behind this, and El Jefe is bringing his creativity when Kat grabs hold of him and brings him over there. That's my feeling. It's certainly how it works with us here. It's Mrs. 420 often has to drag me into the kitchen from my bed. It does happen, unfortunately.
I'm just a cook.
Just a cook. Just a cook. Yeah, okay. It's interesting to me because how did you two meet each other exactly? You're a Dutch guy, you're a Canadian. How does a Dutch and a Canadian person hook up?
Internet.
Yeah. In 2005, I joined a group. There was this like multiple social media platform called Passions. And there were all these groups all these different interest groups. So you could join as few or as many as you want. I was in the art, I was in tattoo passion. So people who like or have an affinity or are in that world would join that group. and then your profile would appear in all the groups that you're a member of. We happen to be members of the same two groups, the art and the tattoos. And he sent me a message after seeing my
top quality, baby.
he saw my profile and sent me a message, and I ignored him because
Who is the creep, Apparently my profile photo was blurred.
it was very blurry. You couldn't tell who he was. I'm like, what is he hiding?
Isn't that mysterious? A blurry profile picture. You think, ooh, mystery. Ooh.
See, most people think that. I'm skeptical, so I'm like, he's hiding something. No.
And I persisted and insisted, and yeah, now we're almost 15 years married.
I love it. Congratulations, you two. I'm very good at getting married. I'm not very good at staying married, though, unfortunately. But then my first marriage lasted about 14 hours. My second marriage, it's ironic. The first marriage, the mistake I made was I was like 19, she was like 19 or 20, and we're too young to get married. And we discovered that after 14 hours. It was an accident. There was drugs involved. What can I say? But then the second time I got married, I waited for like 15 years or so until I was older and wiser, and then married a woman who was the same age as my first wife. So made exactly the same mistake a second time. And then that marriage, that lasted longer. We got to 3 months.
Oh,
Which was pretty impressive. And
Everybody,
I'd
applause.
like to marry Mrs. 420 at some point in time when she feels like it. And I'm hoping to make it to minimum a year after that one. We're going to see, though. Schauen wir mal, as the Germans like to say. We will see, we will see. But then, yeah, and also another thing which I would love to bring up is your photography passion. So tell us a little bit about your photography company.
Years ago, when we were in Ottawa, I started taking photos, and it relaxed me, and I enjoyed it, and
he was good at it.
And it started, and then it's like a snowball from a big mountain, First it's small, and it became bigger and bigger. And I like to do it in a different way, just a beautiful photo. Yeah, sure, but it's boring. So I like to accentuate the colors and make it more edgy, and fetish photography and everything that's artsy. That's what I like.
This is another thing that El Jefe and myself discovered we have in common, which was we both of us spent many years floating around the fetish scene. And ironically, the first time I wandered into the fetish scene was in the Netherlands, but it wasn't you're from Rotterdam, aren't you? But it wasn't there, it was Den Haag in the Netherlands. That was the first time I even understood that there was such a thing as a fetish scene existing in the world. Before that, I simply thought I was a trainee serial killer with very strange desires and ideas. And then I discovered that there was such a thing as the fetish scene. And for me, I don't know about you, but there's something in my mind that relates fetish with chili. And I don't mean doing fetish things with chilies, of course, but there's something in my appreciation of the fetish scene. I find a mirror in my appreciation of hot sauce and chilies. I don't know if you find the same.
Well, it's pushing the boundaries, right? Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like taking what people consider comfortable and normal and, palatable for the masses, and going on the fringe of that and saying, hey, what's beyond that, whatever, let's try. It's a kind of open-mindedness has little fear to try new things and to say, hey, this might be interesting. Let me give it a go. And to not associate pain with bad all the time.
Pain can be very pleasurable,
but it can also be very liberating. You know, there's a ritualistic manner that we're missing, I think, in the average culture. I'm Mohawk, and so we have rituals around different parts of our life and different times in the year. So we're celebrating these things all the time. And so there's always kind of a party going on, whether it's an intense one that's full of thoughtfulness and what have you, or it's just a lot of fun and dancing and hooting around and whatever. I think the fetish world and the pepper world are very similar in that sense, is that we're taking a normal type of event like eating your dinner, and we're turning it kind of into a ritual, because now you have a special edition, you're putting things on it, you're having different experiences that, you know, the guy next door is eating spaghetti for supper and is going to forget about what he had for supper the next day, but we're going to remember it because there was a pain feeling, there was a pleasure feeling, there was an eye factor, you know, there was all these different things, and you're sharing experience and you're talking about it. And then, you know, you're not going to talk about your coworkers about the spaghetti you ate.
No, you're going to talk about the pain you endure. And dear people, please, this is to all the people. You have one life. Get out of your comfort zone. Try the new stuff. Go do something. You know, if you pass away tomorrow and you're like, I should have done. No, go out and do them. There's nothing about your 9-to-5 job, eating your spaghetti at 6 o'clock, and there's nothing to it. Get out, explore, dive into something new, and challenge yourself.
But you don't even have to necessarily participate all the time, but just appreciate the passion that people have. Sometimes that's just a beautiful thing, is to watch somebody else, you know, have a passionate experience. And the fetish world is full of that. Like, there's not many things where you can go and get that deeply into somebody else's private life. You know, that doesn't happen. It's not acceptable normally. So that's fun about fetish, is that even if as not a non-participant, perhaps, I can still have a visual experience and a visual exchange, emotional exchange with the other people. And I love the art of it. I just love the beauty and the art of it.
I understand where you come from 100% with that. And I think if there's a takeaway for anyone from watching what we're talking about today, it's exactly that. Get out of your fucking box, just like you said. Life is short, and it's a big world out there with a lot of stuff. Life in all its rich variety, you know. Life in all its rich.
You know, I've been judged by other people, like, oh, look at him, you know, by family, by friends. I lost friends over it. Well, if I lost you as a friend, then you were never a friend of mine. It's as that simple. And if you get out of your comfort zone, you meet amazing people, just like you, Sasha.
Just like you two as well. So people out there, we're all going to say goodbye in a moment, but remember exactly what you just heard. Come to a fetish club somewhere, get out your comfort zone, and maybe El Jefe, Kat, and myself will come and beat you. And if you don't get out of your comfort zone, then we might come to your house and beat you in a bad way. However, for the moment, from us three, we'll say ciao for now. So ciao, everybody. Ciao.
Woo!